Good evening. I'm Peter Bartinik, a board-certified civil trial attorney practicing law here in Connecticut. Today's topic is the Americans with Disabilities Act, and we're going to talk about what is a public accommodation generally and what are some rights that exist under the ADA that provide free access or non-discrimination in a public accommodation. First, let's talk about what is a public accommodation under the ADA. You might think that a public accommodation has something to do with the government, whether it's a government building or government service. But that's not the case. A public accommodation under the Americans with Disabilities Act is any business that's generally open to the public. An example would be a restaurant, a movie theater, a shopping mall, a doctor's office. Any business that's generally open to the public will be covered under the ADA, and that business is responsible to allow their service to be accessible to someone with a disability. Now, how would a business do that? And what does the ADA require? Well, there are specific regulations. So today we're not going to talk about a specific regulations in all aspects, but think of it this way. The business has to provide access to their business to those with disabilities. An example would be if the business is open to the public, the business needs to provide free access to somebody who is blind. This means a blind person may require a seeing eye dog. The business has to allow the access to that person, so that means the business has to provide some way for the person to have access to the business, and if they require a seeing eye dog and there's no other way to provide access, then likely that's what's going to be required. Another example would be a business that provides a call-in center for people to telephone the business and do business with the business by telephone. That business has to provide some way for someone who is deaf, who can't communicate on the phone, absent some assistance, to communicate with the business. These are examples. So if you think of it this way, a business that's open to the public, you should expect to have free access to that business. Hope this information helps. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.